So, Lærke, you brought mum and dad today. Jakob Ørnberg is one of the psychiatrists in Denmark who has most experience with ADHD. Here he explains how he examines a child for possible ADHD. It's quite normal to worry a lot before you come to see a psychiatrist, to think about many different things. Going to a psychiatrist for help is not the first thing people do. So it's important to find out which expectations, which ideas, which fears they have, and then, fortunately, find out that a psychiatrist is a person you can talk to. I was told you're a bit sad and not very happy at the moment, Lærke. Is that true? It's important that both the parents and the child are involved in the consultations. Although children may not want to talk too much or say too much, then by hearing us grown-ups talk about what's difficult and hear my explanation, the children hear something too, in their own way. They feel a sense of security perhaps and feel that there might be help in that. So it's a kind of process, you might say. At the last parent meeting, we were told that it would be good if she was more active in class. The process stretches over several consultations where the psychiatrist tries to get an overview of the challenges. A lot of things indicate that ADHD is something you are born with, so it's something that affects you whether you're at school or at home or in your spare time or on vacation for that matter. So in order to make the diagnosis, it's important to have information obtained from different areas of a child's life. It's as if when she knows what's going to happen, she's a little more calm. ADHD is often associated with agitation, but that's not always the case. The symptoms of ADHD can be very different. We know that ADHD is very much about the brain's ability to regulate, among other things, your energy and your level of attention. And that may be expressed in many different ways. Some people become more sad and upset and anxious because they're not feeling well. Others become more agitated and frantic and chaotic. So different expressions or different symptoms may indicate the same condition. Look, Lærke, now I'll show you what to do. Some psychiatrists use various tools in the evaluations. Lærke, you just click when there's a white square with a black spot at the top. There are computer tests that try to examine people's ability to focus on the same task for a long time and try to determine whether they can suppress their impulses. And these tests may, to some extent, help identify whether you have attention difficulties or not. But you need to remember that the tests are a snapshot, because when you have ADHD, you may actually, for short periods, manage to focus on something new and exciting so that you can't actually see any signs of difficulties. It's also important to hear what you've thought about and considered. For some of the consultations, the psychiatrist may choose to speak to the parents alone, and information is also obtained from others. You often have the impression that it helps her, that it's a relief for her when she's allowed to. It can vary, but typically you can give a diagnosis on the basis of 3 to 5 consultations, where you may meanwhile obtain questionnaires from school or ask various contacts how they experienced the child. Although the conversations are about things that can be difficult to talk about, a child often feels better when the process is over. Many children experience a great relief when they're seen and understood. Unfortunately, in the case of ADHD, the symptoms you have are ones that do not always call for care. People with ADHD can often be agitated, annoying, loud and disruptive, where others around them may think that the children need to pull themselves together, that they haven't been raised properly, or they need to be quiet and behave now. So many children actually experience a feeling of guilt and feel bad about themselves. And suddenly, being understood in a different way can often be really positive for them.